In The Last of Us, we play as Joel, a middle-aged man who is tasked with smuggling Ellie, a 13-year-old girl, across the country in a post-apocalyptic world. Ellie is the only immune person alive, and thus the hope of humanity. So Joel has to take her to a hospital where doctors will be able to make a vaccine out of her for this fungal disease that has eradicated most of humanity. Said vaccine will save millions of people. They ensue on this long and exhausting journey from Boston all the way to Utah, which is 2,500 miles away. On the way there, they go through a lot of near-death scenarios, fight off infected and hunters, and they grieve. Tess dies, Sam and Henry die. All that Ellie has is Joel, and all that Joel has is Ellie. As a player, we grieve with them. We are given the chance to get to know these characters and their aspirations, and then they die. All of these events, the bad and the good ones too, bring Joel and Ellie closer to each other to the point where Joel sees her as a daughter and Ellie sees him as a father. As a player, we get to see their relationship blossom. And since we play as Joel, we also start caring for Ellie. As you play through the game, it is pretty evident who the bad guys are. At least we think so. The hunters are trying to kill us. The infected are also trying to kill us. The military, David, anyone who tries to kill us is the enemy. Near the end of the game, once we arrive at the hospital, Marlene, the leader of the Fireflies, aka the people who were coming up with the cure, tells Joel that becoming the cure will kill Ellie. Something that he did not know, but Ellie knew. So he kills Marlene and takes Ellie out of the hospital, without her consent, preventing her from becoming the cure. Then he makes things worse by lying to her, telling her that there were many other infected people in the world and that she was not needed.
Turns out there's a whole lot more like you, Ellie. People that are immune. There's dozens, actually.
From an objective point of view, Joel is the true villain. He saved Ellie, who did not want to be saved, and by doing that, killed God knows how many people, probably millions, denying humanity the chance of a vaccine. Now, most of us don't see Joel as the villain. We played as him saving the kid that we grew attached to as well. Given the choice, many people would have chosen to save Ellie, me included, even though it is not the morally correct thing to do. One life in exchange of millions. The game emotionally manipulates you into thinking that saving Ellie was the right choice. In The Last of Us Part 2, Joel is brutally murdered by Abby, the daughter of the doctor Joel killed to save Ellie. Abby is one of the most hated characters in all gaming history, seen as a monster who killed a really beloved character. But what she did was no different than what Joel did. You could argue that in some ways it was, since she was not really saving anyone, rather she was getting revenge. But when Ellie decided to get revenge on Abby by killing her, we all wanted to embark on the journey, and she didn't just want to kill Abby, but every person that was in the room when Joel died. As if that is not the most immoral thing to do, and not really logical. At first, it is hard to see that what Ellie's doing is extremely evil. Primarily because we are shocked that Joel died and blinded by rage, just like she is. But the more you play through the game, you start to realize how fucked up everything Ellie is doing is, and how much this need for revenge is affecting her. She embarks on this journey with Dina from Jackson, which is in Wyoming, all the way to Seattle. Once we get here, Ellie starts figuring out where Abby and all her friends are living so that she can kill them all. As the game continues, Ellie's violence becomes harder and harder to defend. She tortures Nora, one of her targets, to get some information on where Abby was. She abandons Dina and her kid once they're settled and living together. She's also an absolute asshole to her multiple times, like when Dina told her she was pregnant and Ellie called her a burden. She kills hundreds just to get closer to Abby. Once she finds Abby, and Abby almost kills her but decides to spare her life, she still decides to go hunt her again. We start emotionally diverging from Ellie, at least I did. Was it even worth it anymore? We killed a pregnant woman, a bunch of dogs, a bunch of humans, tortured a girl, and got completely diffed by Abby, who decided not to kill us, and we're still going to try to kill her again, even though we have a family and a home. Now, obviously, Ellie had a lot of mental issues. She had PTSD from losing Joel, and she told Dina that she wasn't sleeping or eating.
I don't sleep. I don't eat.
So she was not happy, that is clear. But what type of closure could killing someone ever bring? And as a player, how much evil are we willing to forgive if we understand or empathize with the person committing it? From Ellie's perspective, what she's doing is necessary. We need to go after Abby again to finally avenge Joel. But in reality, Ellie is a monster, and evil from the perspective of Abby and her friends. For over half of the game, we get to play as Abby and experience her side of the story. We get flashbacks, we get to know her fear, see her being kind and vulnerable, and see the impact that the deaths of everyone Ellie is killing have on her and her community. In a way, the game is trying to make us relate to Abby so that we can understand that she is not the villain. They did not do a good job of this, since a lot of people did not really give a fuck and just killed Abby over and over again, rushing through the story. But what they were trying to show us is that who we think the villain is depends entirely on whose perspective we're currently playing. To Abby, Joel and Ellie are the evil ones. To Ellie, Abby and her friends are the evil ones. To Joel, it's the Fireflies and the Hunters. And Fireflies think that Joel doomed humanity. Morality is heavily shaped by perspective. An action that seems evil from one point of view can feel justified from another. Killing someone may seem monstrous unless it is done in self-defense, to protect family, or out of revenge for someone you love. Though I do think that getting revenge is not the right thing to do, as it just continues the cycle, but that is a topic for another video. Most games simplify morality. They make the player the hero and everyone standing in their way the villain. But The Last of Us constantly shifts perspectives to show that the people we play as, while human, are not heroes. They are flawed people capable of terrible things, which adds a lot to their character development and depth, and it is one of the reasons why The Last of Us is such an amazing game.